when you retire or lose your job unexpectedly, and that's like your social support, which it is for a lot of people, like you now, it's hard to feel seen.
Social support matters. Feeling like you're not alone, feeling like there's people who care about you, feeling like there's people who, when you're dragging a little, will help pick you up.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we're saying that's different is I don't think most people consider work to be part of that social network.
It's this bad conventional wisdom of there's work and then there's home.
Well, it's that the goal is retirement, but unless like your retirement is really defined and has a purpose and is going to lead you to social interaction.
Yeah.
If you don't have that plan, you need to rethink your retirement.
Yeah. There's research on what it takes to have a good life suggests 2, possibly 3 things. The first is, as Cindi just mentioned, purpose. The second is relationships. And the third is, this one's relatively new in the science, is novelty and something interesting. And so relationships, purpose, and something interesting. And when you take work out, you run the risk of losing a third of your relationships. I'm just making that number up.
Yeah, it totally depends on.
But of your day-to-day relationships, you probably lose 80% of your day-to-day.
It may even be higher.
Right.
Than
And you know, in theory, 150 people, and at work, you're working with 6. But when you stop working, those 150, they live in Cleveland, they live in Bermuda. I mean, they live all over.
Right.
And so you're not seeing all those other people, but those 8 that you saw every day, now they're gone because you're not working. So your relationships take a hit. As you've been describing, your purpose may take a hit. And then, as the new research suggests, novelty, excitement, interesting, things that are can you not work and have a meaningful, good life? Yes, my mom did it. She retired at age, what? I don't know, 50?
I don't know.
Whatever. She had her own business. My dad, they were kind of partners in it. And then eventually my dad just took it over when he left corporate work. But my mom, probably for 20 to 30 years, has not had a paying job. Now, again, she did her time. She built her company.
And she also did things in retirement.
Yeah. And then they were, smart with their funds. So this, my mom wasn't a burden, but she immediately threw herself into the schools. And then she threw herself into a community group that did this huge project on the outdoors, and then book club and a community garden, all this stuff. She hasn't worked for pay in 25 years, but does she have good, strong, solid relationships? Yes. Does she have, and not only with family, but with the people she's engaged in some of these activities with, non-paid activities? Does she have something that's has a sense of purpose? Yes. She's thrown herself into the anti-human trafficking, into the beautification of the area, into the book club, into the garden, all this stuff. One of the reasons why there was a lot of veterans having negative mental health outcomes is that they were one day surrounded by, at work, this tight band of brothers and sisters. And then the next day, they're civilians, which I've been military and then I was civilian, and I couldn't wait to be a civilian. But then I was non-combat. I had a period of months where I sat around in my boxer shorts wondering, have I made the greatest mistake of my life? In large part because it was hard for me to regenerate a purpose, and underappreciated, I left my entire day-to-day support network behind. Did I have family? Yes. Did I have friends? Yes. I had all that.
But they weren't in part of your daily life at that point.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody in my daily life was brand new. And we were just forming those bonds. And yes, I did go on to make some friends. There was a period of time where I dramatically underestimated the cost of leaving that purpose and those people behind, even as I couldn't wait to get out. And so to tie it to the veterans, I mean, some of the reasons that some veterans have had trouble is that as they make that transition, they do a version of what I did, but with higher mental stakes, because they had been in combat. I was never in combat. They have maybe seen some things that rattle around their head. I didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
And
you can actually, in that respect, I think they would probably feel even like you didn't have those things. And so you were able to form relationships, new relationships with people who, by and large, I mean, you could fill the gap between civilian and military. But like, if you've got things that you've seen that
sure,
this other group shares, like that's an unusual thing to experience in most people's lives.
yeah,
right?
sure, right.
And so you have not only a social support around you, but you share something that's very unusual.
Yeah.
And so then the new network, you can try and you can make friends, but they're never going to quite understand you the same way.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why it has been challenging historically to get veterans to talk about their experiences unless they're with other veterans, because they feel so. Some of the best trained counselors in the world have trouble sometimes getting through because there's that sense of not only, and it's not just military. I mean, it's police, first responder. Like, how would you know that kind of thing?
Any of the people who see things that normal everyday you don't, like even hospital workers, I would say, if they step out of the hospital and get a different job, like different location, and like you have to leave those friends behind, those relationships behind. I won't even say friends, like just relationships. Like people don't know what that's like.
Yeah. I'm old enough. I'm 54 and I was in the Army in the 90s when pre 9/11, there wasn't, nobody ever said the words that I understood PTSD. We didn't talk about it. I mean, just because it wasn't really known as a thing, right?
It wasn't labeled.
Yeah.
It existed. It wasn't labeled.
Yeah. And it wasn't something thought to be widely
it was downplayed.
Experienced. Yeah. Now it was a peacetime army. And so you could see why it might. Anyway, I lived long enough to see the Army take PTSD very seriously, as it should, and the military more generally. And then fast forward the clock now, it's in the 2000s, and we started working with fire departments, and we saw the fire departments begin to realize, in Texas, the fire departments are the first people on the scene of accidents.
They see some hard stuff.
Yeah. And so basically they began to realize, oh, wow, it's very hard to do this job without being exposed to the kinds of things that can cause PTSD. And they became more serious about firefighters who had PTSD and how to treat it and how to give them the support they need. And I think we're going to see that now. We work 10 more years later, we work in hospitals a lot. I think we're going to see the same thing in ICUs.
Oh, for sure.
And
I think we already have.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they take it more seriously. I mean, where you basically acknowledge that this job, you have to have resources because it doesn't guarantee you're going to get PTSD. Most people get over most things. That's George Bonanno's research on resilience, and without it being traumatic. But if you are continuously exposed, your numbers may run out. And there may be things that begin to rattle around in your head. And so those type of jobs are unique. What's not unique is that in a lot of the work that people do, they draw a lot of their strength from the people they're working with. And we're all for people retiring when they've had their run, met their number, their time is up, whatever you want to call it. But you're looking for, in what comes next, where's the meaning? Where's the novelty? And this third piece, underappreciated. Who are the daily people I'm going to rub shoulders with who give a crap about me and I give a crap about them?